the Middle East and contained some of the oldest manuscripts of the Bible, and among them were strange texts that were never read before, which contained these mysteries and truths. Irenaeus, the famous Greek bishop of the 2nd century, wrote in his Against Heresies that the Gnostics were agents of Satan. Among the various Gnostic groups, we had the now infamous Cathars. They were a religious group that lived predominantly in France with a belief in a sort of mystical Christianity. The Cathars were opposed to the Catholic Church and believed that it was the synagogue of Satan. Around this time, the church was becoming more institutionalized as a governmental power and focusing less on its spiritual obligations, which caused a lot of mysticism to arise. The Cathars were ambushed under Pope Innocent III in what is known as the Albigensian Crusade. Bishop Arnaud Amari wrote to Pope Innocent about the genocide, saying, "Our forces spared neither rank, nor sex, nor age. About 20,000 people lost their lives at the point of the sword." Gnosticism, along with other heretical ideas or simple opposers to the church, over the course of time would be abolished, persecuted, and sometimes even killed under the Inquisition. According to Henry Charles Lee in his 1887 History of the Inquisition of the Middle Ages, there was a tension growing between the church and the people, which was becoming dangerous. After the church changed its laws of succession, giving that power to those already in power instead of being elected by the people, this tension began. It was during this time where bribes were being taken by the clergymen. Strict tithes were being ordered by the church as they manipulated the people to pay to get into heaven. Many books were burned and access to alternate viewpoints were banished. During this era, many martyrs and rebels arose to the call to stop the church from becoming corrupt. Among them was Arnold of Brescia. He preached in the streets of Italy against the wrongdoing of the church and captivated the minds of the people and caused movements among them. His influence was so invigorating that the Second Lateran Council in 1139 sought to suppress the revolt he incited in the city of Lombard by condemning him in an attempt to silence him. Arnold did not back down. Pope Innocent II ordered him to be imprisoned and his writings burned. Eventually, he was burned at the stake for standing up to the church. The church was becoming corrupt. There arose freelance priests and clergymen on the streets who began praying and preaching for free and giving back to the community as the church was supposed to. And because of this, Pope Lucius III officially began the institutional Inquisition in 1184 to bestow the church's authority to seek out and punish heretics. The church had created a self-fulfilling prophecy where they were the physical incarnate of evil on the earth as they punished people for simply trying to give back and express a free-minded spiritualism. They became Yaldabaoth, the demiurge. They were imposters. They were the agents of Satan in the synagogue of Satan. Through the Dark Ages, the mysteries went underground and would foster a certain hate and vengeance towards the church. And once we had the new Renaissance and the Enlightenment era, the mysteries would come out of the underground, out of the darkness, and shine bright and become the Luciferian doctrine taught by the classical occultist. Chapter 3: Occultism and the Start of the Luciferian Age. In the 18th century, during the Age of Enlightenment, humanity was able to break away from the church and its Inquisition. During this era, we were able to study and translate sacred texts, which would create new philosophies and secret societies that would revamp the way we see spiritualism and mysticism. And in the 19th century, another key figure in all of this was the master occult writer Alphonse Constant, later known as Eliphas Levi. He was a major influence on the later classical occultists such as Blavatsky and Crowley. Blavatsky would often mention that Levi was her prime source for academic inspiration, and Crowley would even say that he was the reincarnate of Levi. Levi also changed the way that we would think about Lucifer and the principles of the Luciferian doctrine. His major contribution to Blavatsky's beliefs was his conceptualization of the astral light. It is the force that binds all and connects humanity